Welcome back to Derry Public Radio. Reporting from the basement of the Derry Civic Center, this is CM Alexander with the news. The Derry Police Department would like to remind everyone to be on their guard for intruders this holiday season. We have reason to believe this home invader knows when you are sleeping. He knows when you are most vulnerable, awake. So be vigilant, for goodness sake. You are listening to Derry Public Radio. This is Derry Public Radio. Welcome back to Derry Public Radio, a bi-weekly Stephen King book club podcast. I am one of your hosts, CM Alexander, alongside Joshua Kahn.
Hey, everybody.
And Benjamin Graham.
Hey, constant readers.
And today we have a very special repeat surprise for you. This is a...
We're surprising you again with a thing you knew was coming.
Anyway, as I was saying, the person bringing us in... This episode, we are doing a Merry Derry Christmas Special 2019, and Josh is the person with all the power in the situation. I'm not happy.
Some things never change. All right, guys, I'm so excited. I had so much fun doing this Christmas special last year that as soon as we were done, I've never stopped rolling through my brain what I wanted to bring up for next year's Christmas special. I don't know. Have you guys gone back and listened to that episode?
I have. It is. I forgot how much fun it is. As much as I love reading, it's fun to have an episode of goof abouts.
Sam?
No, because I listened to it 60 times when I edited it. So it's burned into my brain.
You remember everything.
I'm just
going to
start repeating everything I said in that episode.
That's perfect.
That's the surprise we have this year. Is we have printed out word for word last year's episode, which we are going to
Only I'm going to say it, though. You guys are going to continue on.
Yes. That would be ridiculous. All right, so to catch everybody up, we are going to be talking about only the books that we've covered this year with our answers, unless the question specifically states otherwise. To remind everybody, those books are Revival, The Long Walk, Pet Sematary, Running Man, The Stand, 1408, Eyes of the Dragon, Rose Matter, and Rose Red.
Damn.
Too many.
We read a lot of books this year, guys.
It's so weird thinking we read that much and The Stand is in there.
I was just about to say, considering The Stand took 6 months, that's pretty impressive.
Exactly. All right, let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to kick things off with the same first question that we had last year. You are drawing your 3. Who do you draw from these books?
I love this question.
It's such a fun question.
But I am very frustrated. Because we did not get our next book, spoiler alert, for what we are covering next this year, because the main character is such an obvious choice.
Oh, absolutely. She'll definitely be on everyone's list next year.
Absolutely. So this is kind of hard this year. We don't have as many supernatural badasses, I feel like, this year.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, we have Flag.
Yeah, because who do we want to take to the room at the top of the tower? Randall fucking Flagg.
Yeah, definitely. That wasn't one of my picks.
Do you have your 3 picked out, Josh? Because once again, like CM mentioned at the top, we are left completely up in the air on these questions. So you have time to prepare.
I do.
You hit us with yours.
Okay,
first.
well, my 3. First, Lewis Creed.
Really?
Yeah. Before breaking down. I'd draw him before Gage dies. Because we've seen his action scenes. He's a competent doctor.
That's a good point.
Yeah. He's got a good head on his shoulders, and he is good under pressure. My next pick would be King Peter.
Yes, that's an obvious one.
King Peter, like he's my Jake.
Yeah, he's just a natural hero.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. He's got great instincts. He's compassionate. He's a good team member. And my last pick is Gert Kinshaw.
Gert.
Hell yes.
Gert's my muscle.
Oh, those are good picks.
Thanks.
I'm going to try real hard not to I want Gert, though.
Well, see, that's why, because I'm prepared, I always want to opt to go last, because if you guys pick something, I would... Because I actually have a fourth down in case one of you took one of mine, so I wouldn't have to repeat it.
Well, I really only have one that comes to my mind immediately.
God, I hope it's not the same one I have.
Oh, I hope not. When I think of someone who has the tenacity, the willpower to make it all the way to the tower, it's go Garrity all the way.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
He is gonna make it across the fucking desert. That's for sure. We know that.
At least 4 miles an hour.
Yeah. I've got an obvious second choice
Okay.
that I think no one is going to be surprised about.
Okay.
Apparently, my entire list is based on ability to walk long distances. Because
Okay.
you better fucking believe I'm taking Trash Can Man.
Yeah. Oh my
Nice.
God. Of course you are.
Of course.
What about running long distances?
Oh, Ben Richards can fuck himself. And I guess for my third one, I gotta go with Mike Hanlon. No, not Mike Hanlon. Mike Enslin. What the fuck is the guy
Mike
from 14?
Enslow?
Yes, Mike Enslow. Because he can see a bunch of crazy shit. And not... No, he does lose
He's
his mind.
fireproof.
Okay. Mike Enslow from the movie.
Okay.
You so John Cusack.
I like John Cusack.
Yeah. Yes.
That's my reasoning.
That's perfect. All right, CM, do you have your 3?
Okay. So my first would be Father Lightning from Revival.
Nice.
I can't remember his name.
Charles Jacobs.
Charles Jacobs. And then I would have to say,
Why Charles Jacobs? I'm curious.
I feel like he's got abilities that would be useful.
He could do a lot of stuff with the like weird machinery in the last 3 books.
Yeah, that's
like
He's
he'd be able to
resourceful.
Yeah.
figure shit out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'd have to keep him on a tight leash.
Sure.
Yeah.
But we are already on a quest, so perhaps he won't try to bring the old ones into our universe. I don't know. He needs to be watched, that's for sure.
Sure.
Then I would have to say the dog from Eyes of the Dragon.
Frisky?
Frisky.
Yep. Okay.
Frisky is useful.
And we never, when we're talking about drawing our 3, we never get an oi.
I know.
That's true.
Yeah.
Frisky's my way until we cover the gunslinger.
Yeah. Well, obviously.
And then for my last one, it would have to be, I went back and forth on this. I almost picked, there were 3 that were in top running
Wow,
for my main
all right.
one. Obviously, Rosie, because Rose Matter's my favorite. Rose Matter, but I think she's just a little too unhinged.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go with Dorcas.
I thought about Dorcas, but then her name is Dorcas, and I couldn't say it out loud without laughing.
She's immortal. She's not crazy yet. But she's been managing crazy, so she's got some good skills. She can probably keep Father Lightning in line for me. And then we've got the dog, and nothing's wrong with the animals. They're perfect.
That's a good pick.
I'm more offended that you didn't go with Kojak instead of Frisky, but
He did fight wolves.
he did fight wolves.
Yeah, but I feel like we got more action with Frisky.
That's fair.
Big Steve is a better name, though.
Big Steve's the best name. Guy, I cannot believe you guys. The name that I left off was like, I thought for sure one of you would be fighting for her. Dana Jurgens.
Fuck. That's such a good choice. I completely forgot about Dana Jurgens. We spent a lot of time being like, she's a fucking gunslinger. She's a
Right.
hard ass. Fuck yeah. Mike, get out of here, John Cusack.
That's amazing. Oh, God, yeah. All right. Ben, we're going to play our first round of Marry, Fuck, Kill.
All right.
And I'm sending it your way first.
It's not been I'm worried. We've had a lot of eldritch horror this year. And I was thinking about this on the drive over, and I'm like, I know I'm going to get, I don't know, the fucking Wendigo or something.
No beasts.
Oh, okay.
I gave you no beasts. Well, maybe one beast. I just felt like now this was an appropriate time to kick yours off. So, Ben, your Marry, Fuck, Kill. Your 3 contestants are Fran Goldsmith, Dorcas, and Kay Waterman, Emery's mom from Rose Red.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, definitely have to kill Emery's mom. If for no other reason than to, as revenge for what he did to Pied Piper. Anyway.
I thought you were going to say as revenge for making you watch Rose Red.
Fran and Dorcas. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to say, fuck Fran, marry Dorcas.
Mr. Dorcas.
That's what they call me, first of all. That was my nickname in high school. I don't want to talk about it. But second of all, first, I don't want to be stuck with Fran forever.
That
Are
makes
you
sense.
kidding me? I was about to try and defend Fran because I don't want to be like a shitty dude who shits on like the main female character of a book. But
Well, we did it for 6 episodes, so
she just sucks. And Dorcas terrifies me. Like, she is an immortal hard ass, and I feel like she could easily and would easily just rip my dick off and throw it in a river. But also, like, she's loyal, and if she's stuck with an elder god for that long, like, I'm not that bad. Come on.
You don't have spiders crawling out of your body?
I don't like that.
all right. We'll switch gears a little bit, and CM, we're gonna go to you for our first Would You Rather. You're gonna answer first. Would you rather have one of these 2 as your catchphrase?
No.
Ask Mama if she believes this, or you believe that happy crappy? For the rest of your life, one of those 2 is your catchphrase.
So I remember Happy Crappy's from the kid, right?
Yes.
And Ask Mama if she'd believe this is from the police officer
From the Dark Half.
Not one from this year.
No, this was a question that was given to us by Spanky.
Okay, Spanky. Thank you for the... Thank you.
Okay, so first, I'm sorry to interrupt before
fine.
you get to your
I don't
answer,
ever have to
CM.
answer.
We have to establish the rules here. Like, it's your catchphrase. Like, is there a set number? Like, do you have to say it every paragraph like they do in the books?
Exactly. You have to say it with the same frequency the characters in the book said it.
Let's hear them again.
Ask Mama if she believes this, or you believe that happy crappy?
It's going to have to be Ask Mama if she believes this, because when I hear the kid's catchphrase, I just think about him raping Trash Can Man.
Oh.
And I don't want to be reminded of that every paragraph.
Yeah, that does suck. But I have to go the other way.
Why?
You have to think of the usefulness of the phrase. Do you believe that happy crappy? You can work that in. Ask Mama if she believes this. That's barely a sentence. It does not make any goddamn sense.
But I'm going to say it under my breath. Is that better?
That's not how a catchphrase works.
Try it. Hold on, try it.
Ask Mama if she believes this. No, that's creepier. Damn it.
That's not a catchphrase. That's a tick. Like,
that's what Stephen King catchphrases are.
You never see like Urkel like lurking around in the background, being like, just like hoping no one would notice. That's not a catchphrase.
You did something retroactively in my brain to Urkel forever.
That's outstanding. Also, because I'm with Ben, I'm going, you believe that, happy crappy.
He's so horrible, though.
But here's why. Ask Mama if she believes this is the start of a sentence. You believe that, happy crappy is the end of a sentence.
Well, it's just, if you start a sentence with, ask Mom if she believes this, everyone has already checked out for what the rest of everything you have to say.
That's the way I like it.
I'm not listening to this Joker. Like, who the fuck is this bozo? I'm not.
I'm going to try my hardest to make that my catchphrase for like a week at least.
You're just going to be like,
Best of luck to
ask
you.
Mom if she believes this. Dinner's ready.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's how you slide it in. All right, guys. I should mention, since Spanky gave us that question, there are a few other fans who've sent us in some questions. Josh Wasada, Gerard Hazelwood, they sent us some. I'm sorry if I'm forgetting anybody else. I remember those three specifically sent us a couple questions. All right, guys. If you could give a Christmas gift to your favorite King character and your least favorite King character, who would they be and what would you get them?
I love this question because it creates the idea of a Christmas present given out of spite. I love the idea of gifting things to people you hate just to piss them off. I love that. Who deserves...
Franny. Give her something. Re-gift her some garbage that you don't like.
Hadn't even thought of that element to it.
Well, they couldn't. They're living in a post-Superflu world, so I feel like even if you were like spite gifting them, they'll be like, we can use this to rebuild society.
Give her a broken iPad.
Jesus.
Okay, hold on. In a year where we had Norman, your least favorite character is Fran Goldsmith.
Listen, Norman is one of those guys. It doesn't matter what you do. You could tell him to fuck off and you think, got my foot in the door. I'm not giving him a gift, even if it's a shitty gift or a spite gift. I want to be off his radar.
That's a good point.
Very true.
Mm-hmm.
Is a bullet to the head a gift?
Yeah.
It is not.
Oh.
I am going to gift someone who had it real fucking rough. Lewis Creed. One of those kid leashes.
Oh my God.
Jeez, man.
Yes.
What? So dark.
No, that's a gift you can use.
That's a practical ass gift.
That is, God damn, that's good.
Right?
That's a great answer. And now you have to give your least favorite King character something.
Well, the CM, you looked like you had something
sorry.
good.
I realized, you guys were right. I focused on the wrong person. Franny is insufferable, but is she evil? Probably not. So I would gift Norman Daniels a tennis racket.
Oh. Oh, God.
I get it. I don't want to.
And you thought Ben's was dark?
Don't give me any gifts this
I
year.
already got you guys Christmas gifts.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Please don't shove them up our butts.
I would give really good... Jeez.
Please?
Well, what's the point now?
Your gift isn't $500, Ben.
Can I have your guys' help on the nice gift that I would give?
Okay.
I want to give the best, most like technical and comfortable and wonderful set of walking shoes to somebody from the long walk. I don't know which one. I mean, there were so many boys who suffered terribly.
Give it to the kid that got a cold, because he had a family.
Oh, yeah.
But the problem wasn't his feet, though. So it's not going to help him. I want to help, like, maybe the kid who was walking in Plus.
Give him an umbrella.
Okay, fine. Whatever.
It's your gift. You do what you want with it.
I am having a real hard time thinking of my least favorite. Norman obviously is just the worst person. but he's an interesting character. I think I might have to give Glenn Bateman, I don't know, sociology for dummies. Yeah, I don't have a funny answer for that one.
You stole mine though, kind of.
Yeah, what were your answers, Josh?
So I would get Randall Flagg a day planner. And I would give Glenn Bateman a paint by number art set.
Oh, that's nice.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna throw out the Merry Fuck Kill that's for all of us. Because,
interesting.
Because this one was submitted to us. So I'm gonna put it out there so it doesn't fit the normal scheme. The Merry Fuck Kill on the table. Harold Lauder, Annie Wilkes, and George Stark.
I'd have to marry Annie. She's my soulmate. I'm sorry, I can't give you a break. Harold, gotta kill you.
We can all agree. Harold's gotta die.
And I would fuck the shit out of George Stark.
Too bad he didn't mention it's after he's all like goopy and falling apart, though.
Can't take that away from me, Ben.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Although, I got to stick with my answer from last year. Annie Wilkes is nasty.
That's true.
She freaky.
So who are you going to marry then?
Yeah.
You got the answer.
The one that's left over. Why?
You're going to marry George Stark?
You're still going to kill Harold. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I just didn't know if that changed.
Oh, God, no. Harold has to fucking die.
That's great. I would marry Annie Wilkes, and I would kill George Stark, and I would fuck Harold Lauder, because fuck that guy.
That's not what that means.
Are you
Josh.
sure? Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. Beans.
Well, he did calm down a little after he lost his virginity, so maybe Josh should be helping him out.
I guess. All right, guys. Would you rather compete in the long walk or the Running Man?
Fuck.
No.
It's not an answer, CM.
Neither of them involves much sitting.
Arguably, the Running Man involves the most sitting.
Yeah. I mean, definitely not the long walk. No. I would not survive either. That is obvious.
Oh, for sure. None of us would.
But at least you get like a 2-hour head start in the Running Man. I could at least like go get a burger or something. Enjoy my last couple hours.
That's a really good point.
How many people are in the walk with me?
99.
Yeah, I assume it's all the same rules.
It's not. Well, I'm a woman, so I didn't know if, because women aren't as strong. Point. Maybe it's only 50 of us.
Split the difference, 75. There's 75. The first all-women's long walk.
Because it would be the first one, that's pretty epic. And I feel like I'd really want to be a part of that. And that I could really, really rock it. And I don't feel like I can say the same thing that Ben just said.
See, I think I would pick the long walk only because the long walk is actually winnable. And when I'm done, it's just a bullet to the head and I'm done. I don't know what's going to happen to me on the Running Man.
Yeah, the Running Man is rigged. The long walk isn't really rigged.
Oh, I mean, yeah. But also
pain.
Yeah, but also it's winnable technically, but those are some long odds and you're going to suffer so much.
That's true.
But that's a hard pass for me.
But I get a bunch of money and a prize at the end.
Or you die and no one gets anything.
Or if
you compete in the Running Man, at least your next of kin will be taken care of.
And it'll be on TV.
Will they, though? Do we believe that? Because they killed his wife and kid.
Well, yeah, that was just the world, though. it wasn't the TV station or whatever they call it, the network, didn't go and kill his wife. It was just word got out and she got murdered because the world is terrible.
For some reason, I remembered it as that they killed her so that he would have no ties.
We speculated on whether or not that is the case because they, you could think that happened. But I still think that why would they bother making any of that up?
Because they're stupid and horrible.
They're not stupid.
They're stupid.
Society's stupid, and the network is capitalizing on that. Okay, next. Best / worst death in any of the books that we've covered.
Ooh, there have been some good ones.
I mean, Norman's death was brutal. He was murdered by an old one. We have the kid from The Long Walk who, didn't he claw his throat out?
Yeah, he ripped his own throat out.
Oh. Pet Cemetery, they all died a couple times.
I don't know if there's any death. Can't say best, though. Best is a bad choice of word.
Okay, if I'm going to say the qualifier for best is the most emotionally responsive, maybe, to you. What death really sticks out? Even though it was traumatic reading at the time.
Gage. Obviously, Gage.
See, I got to think of it slightly different. If I was watching this death in a horror movie, would I be losing my shit going, oh my God, that's the effects and that's so brutal and gory? It'd have to be Norman.
Yeah, that's the more fun answer. That's the more fun way to look at this question because if you're just talking about the most devastating death,
Gage,
you have to go to Pet
yeah.
Cemetery because that was the whole crux of the book, but not fun. So best, most interesting death. I know there was something good in The Stand. There's so much of The Stand that I'm having trouble remembering.
Dana's was badass.
Yeah.
Dana's was really good.
See, that I would qualify as a best death because that was pretty epic. I'm torn between two in answering them as best and worst. I think my favorite of any death is all of Las Vegas, at the end of The Stand. That whole scene and the obliteration of everyone is really fucking cool.
What about...
I can't vote for a Deus Ex Machina. I can't.
What about Julie Lowry from the movie version?
Okay. Yeah, I just remembered how fucking hysterical that is. Flag's death in Eyes of the Dragon is very cool. The whole book leading up to Thomas, one of the saddest characters, most tragic characters we've had, getting the final killing blow on such an amazing villain is an awesome moment. So I think I'd have to say that.
Roland's death was wicked, painful.
Roland's
brutal.
death was the other one that I was thinking about. They're just literally burning alive from the inside
for 3 days.
Oh God!
And that's a really iconic. That death is so cinematic. You can see if they had made Game of Thrones-esque TV show out of Eyes of the Dragon, which I would watch the fuck out of.
So it's okay to give 5 answers, right?
Yeah. No rules, just right.
I would, if I had to pick one, I'd go Roland. I'd go King Roland, I think.
Yeah, that was long suffering.
Okay, here's another discussion question. Which is the better quote? Sometimes dead is better? Or MOON, that spells whatever.
Oh, it's so hard because I'm thinking about who's saying it. And sometimes dead is better. I really like because the actor in the original movie, when he says it, it sounds like he's saying, sometimes dad is butter.
Sometimes dad is butter.
Now there's a catchphrase.
So it has to be that.
I would definitely agree. It's such a I mean, when you talk about King's best quotes, it's the man in black fled across the desert and the gunslinger followed. Sometimes dead is better. Like, it's quintessential. And also, as much as I love Tom Cullen, the whole MOON thing is
not quite sensitive, maybe, in this day and age.
It's very... It's iconic to the character, but it's kind of like, okay, I get it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I disagree. Actually, I think the MOON is the better one. And this, oh my God, I'm gonna say something, and I'm just gonna say it. Doing this podcast, coming into the show with the least amount of King knowledge, reading so many of these things for the first time, and being so immersed, so much further in the culture of Stephen King since we've been doing this podcast. There are times where I feel like a King snob. Like, I sometimes worry that this podcast will turn me into an elitist of some kind, and I don't want to be a D-bag. Having said that, my answer, the reason I think the MOON is better is because everyone knows sometimes dead is better. It's such a pop culture phrase that so many people immediately catch on to that. I love seeing, or like when the burlesque show, I had a line in there of MOON, that spells, and then I did something, and members of the audience freaked out. They loved it. So to me, I think it's better because it is on that level of really iconic, but for that specific layer of fans.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's my elitist answer, and now I'm a dickbag. Okay. We've got one more Marry Fuck Kill.
Must be yours.
And it is for Sia. Okay, full disclosure. I had a different set of people picked out for you, but then we had a listener send us their 3.
Who did this to me?
I'm not going to tell you for their safety. So, CM, your Marry Fuck Kill are Ben Richards, Norman Daniels, and the Major. The look on your face.
Okay, like, just for the sake of all humanity, you have to kill Norman Daniels.
Absolutely.
That's the easy
that
one.
seems to be the problem with these MFK questions, is one of the options is always very obvious.
But wouldn't it have blown your guys' minds? The others, oh man, it's so hard because I'm thinking about, marrying Ben Richards. Like, that didn't work out so well for Mrs. Richards.
Yeah.
And
very true.
He's kind of a grump. And I don't know if I'd want to wake up next to him every day. So I'd have to fuck him.
Of course.
You just got to.
And then the Major, he's got it together. He knows what he wants. He knows what he's doing.
He's the leader of a fascist regime.
Yeah,
so
he's probably got a pretty comfortable lifestyle, I guess. I'd have to marry him.
That
makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. This next one, I don't know if you guys are going to have answers for it, but because it was a question that involved some prep time and it was sent to us, I've answered it. And I will go ahead and give that answer. And if you guys want to jump in, feel free.
Absolutely.
We had this question inspired by The Running Man. Cast a movie adaptation of Eyes of the Dragon using only professional wrestlers. Oh, this question killed Ben.
Oh, man. That is a fantastic... And also the metric that more movies should be cast by. I think.
Absolutely.
The problem is that most of my wrestling knowledge comes from the mid 90s. So most of the people I know are either very, very old or dead. So
mine are kind of all across the board.
yeah, they'd be tough gets.
Yeah. Well, I didn't pay attention to time. I didn't allow time to be a discriminating factor. So I'll give my cast list, and you can interject any changes you guys would like to make.
I've got a few
to the
ideas.
cast.
Yeah, definitely.
So first of all, King Roland is played by Booker T.
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair will come up later.
Okay.
Because Booker T was King Booker for a while.
I just want to see him like burst into flame.
Doing the spinneroonie.
Just fire flame. Yeah.
Queen Sasha would be played by Sasha Banks.
Obvious.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Peter would be played by Kofi Kingston.
I don't know who that is.
He is a member of the New Day. And
okay.
Yeah.
I have heard of that.
I think I haven't watched in a while, but I think they gave him the strap not too long ago. So he was the heavyweight champion for a little bit. Thomas would be played by Shelton Benjamin.
Don't know who that is.
He was so underrated when they brought him in. He's a super talented guy and just like never quite got the push. And so having him as like the resentful younger brother.
I bet if I was a wrestling fan, this would all be just A+ material.
Oh, we'll find out. People will probably leave me comments. Randall Flagg will be played by Edge.
Come on. This is the one I have very strong opinions about.
All right.
You cast Flag,
Yes.
the sorcerer, and you don't pick the fucking Undertaker? Are you kidding me?
I considered it, but I felt like Undertaker was too on the nose.
I don't give a shit how on the nose it is. The Undertaker is the Undertaker, and you respect him, goddammit.
He doesn't have the charisma. Edge is a charismatic villain. He can take control in that whispering in the ear kind of side. I don't see that from the Undertaker.
All I can see in my head is a movie adaptation of Eyes of the Dragon in which Flag never speaks and just is the Undertaker. That's it. He just glares at everyone and it's awesome.
And they just do stuff.
Yeah.
All right. That's fair.
Can I just switch two of yours?
Sure.
Well, and change two of them. Everything else is fine, but I don't know as much about wrestling, so I don't have a lot to contribute. But for King Roland, Mick Foley.
Mick Foley is next on my list, actually.
And for Flag, because he's got so much zip and zowie, Roddy Piper.
Oh my God.
R.I.P.
Roddy Piper would be great as Flag. I actually have Mick Foley, not as Mick Foley, as Mankind, as the head jailer that Peter beats the shit out of.
That's
a good one, too.
fantastic.
Ben will be played by Seth Rollins.
Sure.
Pena will be played by Kurt Angle. Well, he'll be wearing his gold medal as he's the head judge.
Once again, I'm going to have to disagree with you.
Yeah? Who's your Pena?
John Pena! Wait, why did I... Yeah. What was I singing?
No idea.
I don't know wrestling.
But it's funny because I have Dennis as John Cena.
What a stupid question.
Okay, we'll move. Pena can be played by John Cena, and Dennis can be The Rock. Naomi will be played by Trish Stratus.
None of that meant anything to me.
Frisky is played by Ric Flair.
Oh,
Woo!
yeah, okay. Yeah, I get that.
And go ahead.
Just a dog voiced by Ric Flair.
Yeah.
And all it says is woo is that's a great thing.
Because you also hear his internal dialogue. all done by Ric Flair. And Niner the Dragon will be played by Andre the Giant.
Sure.
Oh, sorry. Andre the Giant, The Big Show, and Kane all in a pantomime horse-esque costume. No CGI for this movie. And that's our Eyes of the Dragon cast. I was so happy about that question. If you could add any character not in The Stand to The Stand, who would you bring into that world?
Why? There are so many already.
Yeah, that's what the stand needs is more fucking characters.
George Stark, because he can't get the super flu, right?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, he'd give. I would love to see George Stark in Vegas
face off
actually giving Flag a run for his money.
Yeah.
That would be pretty great.
That would be pretty badass.
I'd really love to see Reverend Jacobs, because I don't know where he'd end up.
Yeah,
that would be a really fascinating story, is him showing up in Boulder, helping get the hydroelectric dam back up and running.
Sure.
Becoming this another religious figure in the town, kind of, but definitely falling because they're not doing enough, because they are too stuck on religion. That'd be really cool.
That would be really cool.
It's a good one.
It's a great answer.
Sorry, I went back to the year before. I cheated.
That's okay. I think that's a great answer, even if it breaks all of the rules and spits in the face of this game. I would go with Rosie. The reason being is I remember it was in my notes, but I didn't get a chance to say it on the show when we were talking about Rose Matter. But at a certain point when we were reading, something clicked into place, and I thought, Rosie is the Fran Goldsmith we deserved.
You're right. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, all of the criticisms we had about Fran, if that had been Rosie, we would have had zero complaints. Because that is that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can we just have all three?
Yeah. We'll just add them all and tell Stephen King to rewrite. Do another draft. Okay. One last would you rather. Would you rather have a job turning over 1408 or a job removing stitches in a warehouse worth of napkins?
Oh, removing stitches. I don't want chronic health problems from going in that room.
You'll sure get arthritis.
Yeah, but that's not going to kill me.
I am already freaked out by the idea of being a housekeeper in a regular hotel. I don't like it. It sounds awful. And if you do that job, fantastic. But it sounds, being by yourself, going through all of these identical rooms and having to clean up. It's like going through all these other people's, strangers' lives in their mess. It sounds fucking existentially terrible. I hate it. Just the thought of it is giving me the heebie-jeebies. For real.
It has nothing to do with the room specifically.
Well, then you add on to that. Oh, it's that, but also extra dimensional bug creatures could come out of the wall. That's a no for me, dog.
That was a much more layered answer than I anticipated to that question.
Fuck that.
See, this is a hard decision because 1408, they just turn it over once a month. Done and done. The napkins, that is all day, every day. And I would lose my mind in boredom, I think.
Just listen to podcasts.
Yeah, Josh.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
That's a good point. Well, I wasn't sure if that universe had stitch removers, so I just shouldn't be so hasty to say they have podcasts. I think I'd turn over 1408.
Oh.
Once a month, knock it out, in and out. I'd
You're
probably
nuts.
do a really half-assed job because nobody stays in it.
I would go in and I'd be like, oh, I'm clean and moving. Yep, okay, I'm done. And I wouldn't go any further into the room. Just get out of his eyesight.
Just imagining the possibility of walking into a room, looking at a menu, and that moment of the menu being the wood cut. I would leave the state and never go back. That's fucking scary.
Okay, we have one final question. And in the spirit of it being Christmas, share a story. I want to do something similar because we're going to share a story, but we're not going to share our own story. This is something we kind of talked about off mic a little bit. We're going back to The Stand for this final question. We have discussed so much about these characters. So our final question is asking if The Stand did not have the superflu. The superflu is non-existent, and you could read a book about any one of those characters.
Just in the regular ass world?
And maybe it could have a little bit supernatural. It just doesn't have the superflu.
Huh.
There could still be other king elements in it.
Okay.
Because there are king elements in that world. But just not the superflu, not the end of the world. Whose book would you read? And not like the whole plot, but what do you think that book is about? God, there are so many interesting characters.
There really are.
But the character who, and this surprised me when it finally dawned on me whose book I would read Nadine Cross's book, because she is one of the most tortured characters through that entire book. And she has so much depth and she has so many layers that are all buried under how she is when we first meet her. So I imagine that Nadine's story, taking it out of the world of the superflu, which in my brain means Randall Flagg's not there to climb into her dreams, is a story about a woman who has lived all of her life feeling that she has some sort of perpetual need that she is supposed to be doing something, and so she is closing herself off because she has this big destiny she can't see, and that destiny never presenting itself, and how she deals with the destiny she's always seen in front of herself just not being there, and how long does she let that feeling hold her back before she breaks through and starts living her life.
Sounds like a Lifetime movie.
It does, kind of. It does.
Yeah,
now, God,
I'd read that book.
Now I'm just seeing like the trailer for this movie, and it's the oldest sister from Full House, and she's like, I've always had these dreams of being rape impregnated by a other dimensional demon and bringing on the Antichrist. But maybe there's more to life.
A bit of stunt casting. The ghost of Flag in her dreams, played by John Stamos. Weird movie.
Really thought you were going to go back to The Undertaker.
Undertaker should just be in every movie. Anyway. My knee-jerk reaction is honest, obviously, the Trash Can Man, because he's, in my opinion, the most interesting character in the entire book. That book would just be a huge bummer. Because that book would just be this poor guy getting picked on, probably burning people's houses down. But I'm going to say, actually, my answer is Nick Andros. Nick's chapters before the flu are, in my opinion, the best. That's the best story of this drifter coming into this small town and getting on the bad side of these good old boys who are related to the sheriff, and then the family drama of the sheriff and his wife being related to whatever the fuck his name was. I think would be a really fascinating story, and could be very tense and suspenseful if he then got out of jail and Nick still decided to stick around. What would happen in this small town? The more I think about it, that's not a Stephen King book, though.
Also a drama.
Yeah, it could be. There's this other author named Donald Ray Pollock. He's only written 2 books. They're both astounding, though. And they're both, they take place in like the Appalachians, but they're about these small rundown towns and the people in them. I feel like he could write that book.
You know what I think would make the Nick Andros book a Stephen King book? Adding a little bit of a supernatural element to it. First of all, I would say they don't catch all of the guys, like how they catch that first group right away. They'd have to like spread it out a little bit as they come in. But what if, for whatever reason, the longer he stays in this community, what if he like starts to be able to hear and speak, like something about this town where like it was like a supernatural healing place for him, and it like,
or he meets one person that he can hear.
Oh yeah.
And he doesn't know why, and like no one else in town even knows who this person is.
That'd be super
another
cool.
drifter that comes in.
I thought you meant nobody knows who they are. Like nobody ever sees them. He's the only one.
Yeah.
It's a ghost. Man, you guys, I have to follow 2 really good answers. I think I would have to say Joe, the little boy.
Yeah.
Because, Ben, you mentioned, spoiler earlier, that the next book that we're going to be covering after Rose Red is Firestarter. So in starting reading that, for listeners who are familiar, there's something in it called The Shop, and it's this agency, and they're nefarious and terrible. And they're also related to The Stand. So in the same universe, they were supposed to contain the super flu and failed. And so I imagine that they would be involved in Joe's life somehow, or be after him, or capture him and do whatever the shop does with children, because he has a shining. So who knows kind of what powers or gifts he might have that they might try to exploit.
Hell yeah.
Well, and we don't really get a glimpse of, we get Joe coming out of his feral state, but we have no idea who he was or where he came from when we meet him.
And I assume he wasn't like that before the super flu. Maybe he was just like any other little boy, or maybe there was something going on with him and it wasn't quite to that level, but okay, something's not quite right.
So the book is that everything's fine. He's just a normal kid, but he starts to exhibit the shining, and somehow the shop or some organization, I don't know, the Breakers, someone gets wind that he has this power, and they come after him, and something terrible happens to his parents, and he goes feral. And the book is this feral kid just running and like living.
That would be pretty badass.
He could even meet Nadine in Josh's story. We could tie those 2 characters back together, and then they could be on the run, and they could travel to the town where Nick is, and we have a 1,300-page book again.
Absolutely. I think that is perfect. All right. Well, listeners, that is it for our Christmas special. Before we get out of here, we just want to say another heartfelt thank you to all of you who have shown us so much support this past year. Last Christmas, we talked about how just insanely blown away we were. And without getting into specific numbers, the amount of listens and emails and all the things that you guys have sent us in the year from then has like quadrupled. It's been really insane. And we love talking to you guys. We love having discussions with you. And we love that you are interested in listening to what we have to say. So one more time from all of us, thank you for being a part of our journey.
Thank you for listening to a Merry Derry Christmas episode 2019. Have a Merry Derry Christmas.
Oh, God.
As soon as I said it, I was like, nope, I can't do that. And then I was like, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to follow this through.
Really swing through.
That's it for this episode of Derry Public Radio. For Benjamin Graham and Joshua Kahn, I'm CM Alexander, wishing you a Merry Derry Christmas. Hey everyone, CM Alexander here. We hope you enjoyed our Merry Derry Christmas bonus episode. A special thank you to Spanky, Josh Wasada, and Jared Hazelwood for their submissions. Listeners, we hope you all have a fun and safe holiday. And speaking of holidays, for those of you in need of a post-holiday recovery, we're going to be at the Village Theater in Davenport, Iowa on January 5th for a Castle Rock Season 2 binge watch party. We'll have food, drinks, prizes, guest performances, and mini live episodes with DPR staff. Check out our Facebook for event details and help us kick off the new year in the best possible way. That's all for now, listeners. Goodbye.